What weapon should you be running in the new season? The super season has so many new items, a lot of them are extremely broken, but people don't know what is the best loadout. I've now watched the first day of the pro scrims, and I'm going to tell you what the pros are running and why, and also teach you guys some insane tips and tricks that I guarantee will win you more games. I also want to talk about which teams are doing the best. We had Pete absolutely dominating scrims at his new drop spot, but he hasn't been contested by Pollo yet. Meanwhile, Click's doing really well in the first session, but struggling in the second session. I'll talk about which pros are dropping where, which drops you should be going, and who's looking the best. Let's jump into it. There is a lot of new stuff this season, so I'm going to try my best to break down what the pros are doing, what weapons you should be carrying before I talk about which pros are doing the best. So let's start off with the most complicated one. What assault rifle should you be carrying, or what pistol, or what is your main weapon of choice? Now, the answer to this one is a bit complicated because I saw pros running everything. I've seen pros running the Fury AR, I've seen them running the Spire AR, the new burst shot pistol, the slow down dual pistols. There's a lot of variations what your first weapon can be, but there are some strengths and disadvantages to some of them. So I would say the Spire AR right now, which is more like an LMG, is the best all-round weapon right now for competitive. It's going to be the bread and butter that most of you are going to run depending on the rest of your loadout and your team's comp. So it has really good long range surge damage, it has a decent fire rate to be able to apply pressure to builds, and it still hits hard enough in the box to be a follow-up weapon if you pump them for 160 and have to finish them off. It's really good at all levels of gameplay. It's not the best in certain areas, like the burst pistol is going to be way better close range, but then the DMR is going to be better long range. But I think for the most part, if you're confused on what to run and you're not leaning towards any one gun, you don't feel like one suits your playstyle, stick to the Spire AR. Now, I actually think the dual revolvers have a lot of potential in regular gameplay, but also in competitive for one big reason. A lot of people don't realize this. The slow down mechanic, when you jump and slow down, it's not just for hitting clips and looking cool. It actually makes the bullet spread so much tighter. If you use the gun just standing there shooting off in the distance, and then you jump and slow down time, it makes the bullet spread almost 100% accurate. So you can hit ridiculous range shots on people really far away, even if you're going for surge damage. So I'd highly recommend picking it up, trying to give it a try by using the slowdown mechanic. Obviously, that leaves you open to getting beamed back by other players, so be careful when you use it, but it is really good for out damaging opponents, and quite often you'll catch people off guard and be able to hit them for like 150 or 200 damage within a few shots. It shoots 2 bullets at a time and does over 80 headshot at high rarity with each bullet. That is insane. The Fury AR is very similar to the Spire AR. It's decent at long range. It's not going to be the greatest as a surge weapon. If you're playing an opens tournament or your W King, it's probably going to be the main weapon of choice. It's got really fast fire rate, good structure damage, a decent clip size. Honestly, it's a really solid choice of weapon. The DMR is really mostly going to be for surge trading. Like, if it's only going to be if you're on top of your base and you're trying to take long shots at another person at the top of their base. Trying to hit any moving target, it just doesn't do enough consistent damage. Its hip fire is obviously very weak, being a DMR. It doesn't really shoot fast enough to do a lot of build damage, so ultimately it is really just a surge trading weapon, or a weapon to get surge if you're really confident in your long range aim. Now, the burst pistol is actually extremely strong, especially at close range, but its ammo clip size is very low, so it's trying to spray players, especially in trios, and apply a lot of pressure is going to be pretty weak. But if you're playing solos and you need a good follow-up weapon inside the box, you're confident to hit your shots, it is still really solid. But those are the main choices. Now remember, there are a few exotics to talk about as well. We have the exotic pistol in this regard. The exotic burst pistol doesn't really add too much more value past the regular burst pistol. It shoots a shockwave on the first and last shot, which is a little bit gimmicky. If anything, it can actually save opponents. You can shockwave them away into safety when you didn't want to. So I wouldn't really pick up that gun just because it's an exotic. But moving on to the shotgun loot pool, this one is nice and simple. The Sentinel Pump over everything. The Sentinel Pump is by far the best. Pros are running it at gray rarity over every other rarity of every other shotgun. Now, you do have the exotic outlaw shotgun, the Yoink shotgun. I have a lot of people confused about whether this is good or not. In my opinion, no. It's pretty terrible, because yes, it has the yoinking ability where it pulls people towards you, but that doesn't really do anything in most scenarios. It can kind of get you a win where if you shoot someone in a box, it pulls them towards you and they miss their shot, but even then, that could actually help an opponent more than it hurts them, depending on how they play it. And then it's an outlaw shotgun. You still have to use an outlaw shotgun that just doesn't hit anywhere near as hard as a sentinel shotgun. Now, the exotic sentinel, on the other hand, definitely pick that up. 195 headshot damage, does the same damage as a gold rarity sentinel, and then the way it works is it has alternating effects of either giving you a pepper effect, so speeding you up, or giving an ice effect, slowing down your opponent. So you should definitely be running that as much as you can. If you don't know how you get the exotic weapons, you get them from the different S caches around the map, or you can get them from the different rooms you go into, but the main way to get it, the most pros are getting it, is from the spires. When you get the really big spire guardian and you destroy that, you usually get chug jugs, an exotic weapon, multiple legendaries. It is super overpowered. I would highly recommend doing those if they're nearby. Just be careful you don't get third partied, but right now the sentinel shotgun is being ran over both the outlaw and the twin fire at every single rarity. You should always run sentinel. I know a lot of you guys are really upset with the removal of the solo cash cups. I just want to quickly let you guys know in this video, if you join the Discord in the description down below, I'm actually running solo cash cups that are open to everyone. I'll be casting them and watching them on my Twitch and YouTube stream, so keep an eye out. All you gotta do is join discord.gg/digfort. We're running the first one taking place tomorrow at 5 ET. We've got a whole bunch of pros. We're gonna pay everyone who plays who wins a game. It's gonna be a bunch of fun. Make sure you join. I'm doing my best to bring back solo cash cups. Now, utility and mobility is where we're gonna get very, very messy because we have so many insane items. Now, two of the biggest complaints most people have of the new season is the new base boost gauntlets are way too overpowered and the scan is too overpowered. Now, the base boost kind of speaks for itself. It does 700 structure damage. You can shoot it 50 times. It has 3 charges at purple rarity. It blows apart builds. It is mobility to shoot you forward. You don't take fall damage when you use it. It is just extremely strong. Now, I'm not really sure what Fortnite's going to do about this because they either have the choice of nerfing the structure damage to make it balanced for competitive, but then that'll probably annoy casuals, or they just vault it out of competitive altogether. That's usually what Fortnite's been doing. Think of the Nitro Fist. There's a lot of times where Fortnite just knows they can't balance the item without nerfing it too much for casuals, so they have to just remove it because Fortnite never wants to have weapons do different damage in casual versus competitive because it's just too confusing, which I do understand why they have that thought process. They could tone the damage down, like they could make it do 300 damage, and I still think it's a very valuable weapon, but even 300 damage would be still overpowered in competitive because all 3 players on the trio can carry them and then just keep shooting them and just blowing apart all the builds. It's just, they are very, very frustrating to verse. There is some really cool tech with them. If they're not going to vault them, you might as well learn the tricks. I made this video here and I posted on my other social media platforms, but it's super simple. If you just build a flat out to the side of a player in a box below you, you can shoot that flat and it drops you straight in, because most of the phase-in tricks you probably realize launch the player out of the box, so it defeats the purpose. You can do this when you're below them as well. Just build the flat out to the side, shoot the flat, and they drop straight down. So it's extremely easy to use. It's very overpowered. They're very easy to find, and for that reason, most trios were carrying usually 2 or 3 of them. If you can't find 3 for your whole trio, it's also a nice strategy to actually push your teammate ahead of you to make them rotate, and then you follow them with your own base boost because they're not going to take fall damage. It's a really, really good strategy. I saw a lot of pros like Pete's team doing. As far as the dash sprite, Dave the dash sprite is what we're calling him, 100% someone in your trio should be carrying this every single game. Getting 27 dashes out of 1 sprite is ridiculous because you get 3 per player on the trio. So it's 9 times 3 if you use it for max efficiency, which is just ridiculous. You can throw it down as soon as you and your teammates get it, pick it back up. One thing I will warn you, and you probably already learned this the hard way, you do take fall damage. These dashes are not like the Grim Gate dashes. They do not cancel fall damage. Be careful, you will die to fall damage. I've seen top tier pros do this and unfortunately learn the hard way. So don't use it from a high place, but it's still extremely strong to stick together with your teammates. You should 100% carry this every time you see it. As for the complaints about the scanner being broken, I do understand this one. It is a blue rarity, so it's very easy to find. You can scan infinitely on a 30-second cooldown, but that cooldown is unique per player, not per item. So what that means is you can scan, wait till that wears off, drop it to your teammate. They won't have the cooldown. They can scan, wait till that wears off, drop it to their teammate. They can scan, and then you can see the problem. It's basically infinitely running. It also just creates so much visual clutter in endgame between your scan, the heartbeat sounds, the giant green wave that goes out, everyone else scanning. It is just absolute sensory overload in the endgame. I would love to see this item just have limited amounts of uses, whether it be 3 or 5 uses would be totally fine. It's a great item. I really like it. I think it's cool. It doesn't last that long. It does mark the entire enemy teams for all your whole trio, not just the person who used it. So it is very strong, and I think think even with limited uses, pros would still run it, but there's definitely been some complaints from pros that it needs to be nerfed a little bit in some way. You can't just infinitely use it, and you can't just drop it to your teammates and have them use it as well. But I would highly recommend one person on your trio carrying this right now, and then like I said, just swapping it through your teammates in endgame to make sure you're getting the maximum efficiency out of it. As far as the crypto treats, which is like a reskin junk rift basically, it's pretty strong. It does over 100 damage to players if you get it into the box. It is worth mentioning it's a bit awkward to use sometimes, because if someone's inside a box and you throw it on top of the box, crypto kind of hits the cone or the floor and just lands there. It doesn't actually go into the box. You have to throw it under the box if you want it to work efficiently. So most pros have been running this. It's kind of a cool niche weapon if you get some to try and take an early or mid game fight, maybe to try and grief someone and just get a free elim for a refresh. But I wouldn't really recommend carrying these over some of the other really strong items I've just talked about. I would definitely prioritize carrying, the dash sprite, the gauntlets, or even the scanner over this. And then if your team already has all of those, honestly, I would just run triple meds. I don't think this is worth carrying over a med slot. It's cool. It has some unique uses in endgame. You get maybe a free kill, but it's not really consistent enough. And if you hit it like right next to someone's box, it almost does nothing. So it's annoying when you die to it. With the first night of me playing, I thought it was the most overpowered thing in the world, but as I've now learned to counter it, it's really not that strong. There's better things to be carrying in the current meta, and the pros agree. I didn't see almost any pros running it in scrims today. As far as the medallions go, we only have 2 medallions in the game right now. One of them is terrible. The island medallion is just straight up awful. It makes it so that when you sprint jump, you go invisible. And I know we've talked about a lot of invisible medallions being terrible, like the crouch medallion, and it ended up being secret OP if people used it properly. This one, I swear, is just awful, because not only is it not that helpful, you don't really need to be invisible when sprint jumping, it also is kind of a nerf. As long as you have it, every time you jump, you stop gaining stamina. So it really messes up your movement, and it actually makes you worse, in my opinion. So I think this is 100% not worth carrying in almost any scenario. There'll probably be some moment where some pro picks it up and combines it with something else and it looks insane, and I'll completely eat my words and apologize, but right now, as far as I can see it, that medallion is trash. Never pick it up. But Daigo's medallion, which drops from demons, which is why Peterbot's dropping there, is quite solid. It's like the red line, but kind of like a little bit weaker. The red line rig medallion heals you for your white health and shield up to 150. This only heals you for shield up to 50. So you don't get the white health from it, but it does heal you much faster, and it kicks in really quick. So it is good to drop for your teammates or to use for yourself if you get cracked. It means you don't have to carry minis. So definitely worth picking up, but I don't think it's like super overpowered and makes it the best medallion in the game. It's the best right now, but it's not exactly a very hard bar to beat right now. The better thing you do actually get from Daigo is the mythic enhanced spy rifle. This is really, really good. It doesn't just do a little bit more damage, it shoots faster as well. So Peterbot by far has the best assault rifle in the game right now with that enhanced spy rifle. Really, really solid. Definitely worth carrying if you get the chance. But as far as the island goes with the medallion, I really wouldn't be hunting it down. It is worth pointing out the island now spawns in 2nd zone, not 4th zone. It is much, much earlier in the game now, which is a good position to go for to try to claim some space, get into a good surge position, get some extra material. There is loot up there, so it's worth going up on the island. The boss isn't very hard to kill. Core is quite easy to kill, especially in trios, but yeah, probably leave that medallion behind. It's really not worth carrying. As far as the meds go, it's pretty standard. You got minis, med kits, big pots. You've got the med mist grenades, which are great for heal off or playing zone a little bit. You obviously have the chug jug, you have the fish steel. So, heals is pretty standard. I'm sure you guys know what to carry as far as heals go if you get the chance. It is worth mentioning though, again, if you see those spies around the map, they drop really, really good meds if you want to try to take them down. Also, make sure you're grabbing your caches as much as you can, or if you're dropping Hero Academy or any of the PYs that have the hero rooms, make sure you're unlocking them. They are insane. As far as ranking up the hero rank, it's pretty self-explanatory. You start at C rank. As you get eliminations, damage, reses on your teammates, lots of things you do will gain you hero rank. I wasn't sure whether teams were actually going to get to S+ rank in high-level competitive games, but turns out they are. There are multiple teams that I saw got S+ rank in the scrim games today, so we are going to see that happen in the finals, which is extremely strong. It levels up all of your boons to max, so if you have the forecast boon, for example, that will get leveled up. You will gain forecast. It also heals you to 100 as soon as you hit S+ rank, which is usually an end game, which could be really good for some insane clutches. So definitely try to farm that out. It is worth mentioning, rezzing your teammates does give you rank. That's probably why you've seen pros deliberately dying on spawn and having their teammates res them. Luckily, Fortnite thought enough ahead to make this not infinite. You can only res someone once, and then you will get the rank. But if you keep resing the same person, you do not get the rank. Thank you, Epic. You actually thought this one ahead. That is amazing. But for the most part, try to get your rank up if you can. One of the best ways to get the rank is, again, taking down the NPCs and the different spires around the map. You can get really, really good damage on them, and you gain a lot of rank for it. So make sure you're prioritizing your rank and pay attention to when you're about to rank up. Because when you're about to rank up, you gain health and shield over time, which could save you some extra meds, especially in competitive. Now, let's talk about how some specific teams are doing coming into the new season. This is why I know what the pros are running and what's working or not, because we had our first day of stacked vital scrims. They were absolutely popping off. We had Pete playing, not only playing, but with his full trio. Cold got on for day one, game one, session one of scrims. That is a huge deal. Pete, Cold, and Ritual are very much locked in on the season right now, and their results show. So on session one, they managed to come first on 182 points. They won one game with a 12 kill win, an 8 kill 7th, and a 13 kill 2nd. Phenomenal session one, but it got even better in session two. They came first on 205 points with a 10 kill 2nd, 18 kill win, and 13 kill 3rd. Now, it is worth mentioning all of the biggest pros were playing in this except for Poyo. You're probably wondering, Aussie, does that mean that Pete beat Poyo's team 6 times off spawn? No. Poyo, Ages, and Acorn did not play day one because Ages was traveling, but I've been told by Poyo he is going to be playing in day 2, so we will get to see Pete versus Poyo on day 2. Check out my Twitch and YouTube stream. I will be live casting and watching all of it. It's gonna be super exciting, but all the other big pros were playing. So we had Clicks come in second on session 1 on 168 points. Very solid performance by them. They got a 15 kill win, an 11 kill 8th, and a 10 kill 5th. Unfortunately, session 2 was very rough for Clicks' team. They didn't place well at all. They came 23rd by getting a 27th, a 24th, and a 16th. So a very rough session 2. Probably testing some stuff out. They just kept getting stuck in mid-game fights. They weren't getting stuck in on session 1. So not really sure what happened there. Clicks was playing them off stream because he was locking in and really wanted to practice. So I was jumping in the replays to make sure I could actually watch these properly. But we had some other big teams playing as well. In session 1, we had Scare's new team doing really well. We had Edgy doing well. Kanata coming in 6th overall, trying to get his LAN spot this season to make sure he doesn't miss out on a LAN event. We had Visuals, Braids, and Aminish, one of our other LAN qualified teams, playing in session 1, not doing too hot, but dominating in session 2. We had Rise, G-Money, and Muzz playing both sessions, not doing super hot, but still looking quite strong, still trying to figure out the meta as well. I do want to show you a little bit of how Peterbot's team was playing the end game because they were playing it extremely well, and it'll give you a better idea of exactly how pros are using these insane new items. 54 builds on P. He's going to double dash to front side. Beautiful rotate right around the dead side. Gets priority on front side. Gets in front of everyone. P might now look up here. Realizes only a duo on high potentially. Still looking down, actually. Scan comes out. They know exactly that it's a duo on high ground. There it is. Now we realize Clicks goes up. Gets beamed. Tries to use the base boost to go up. Pete now takes height instead. So does Cold. Cold's up. Pete's up. Ritual, unfortunately, has to make his way up on the builds, but he is going to build a bit of a platform for them to connect to. Toon's going to get beamed right now. Higgs and Clicks are reeling, dropping down the low, trying to find something. Toon's on the backside. Higgs is in this one as well. Higgs now goes down. Clicks in the water, soon to fall as well. Going down in 8th place despite making it to top 13 players. Josh trying to get away from Peterbot's team, just causing havoc on the high ground. Bolt's now going to try to put some pressure on Rise. Rise is stuck here. Has to drop back into zone. Try to play the hero grenade. Drops in. Finds a player. Hits him for 100. Can't find the next shot, though. Does get around the corner. Gets the refresh on a Sonetto. Cypher's going to keep him topped up. Kanata's still here as a solo now on the front side, but it's Pete, Ritual, and Cold just raining down chaos from above. Ritual's going to drop down. Try and get in off that base boost, breaking apart the builds. It's a 3v1. It's Josh up above. It's a Kovacs course. And we have a 12 elim win for Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold. Both Pete and Clicks' team have very similar playstyles right now. They're mostly choosing to go low ground throughout the early end game just so they can obviously get a good position on zone, save their material, and not get completely griefed on height. But as soon as the potential arises, they will go up on height, usually using the base boost to jump up nice and quickly, and then take the high ground coming into that late end game. Because once they get it late end game, a lot of the teams down below are shambles. They can use the base boost on the opponents rather than getting it used on them. There's a lot of fall damage saves on height right now, so it's not too much of a worry about being chopped, but you can get very aggressively pushed and griefed if they base boost you out in zone. So Clicks doing very similar to Peterbot. We'll take a look at how they played their end game. Clicks, Higgs, and Yomzo with 9 eliminations. Damn. Clicks is different off stream, bro. 10 teams, 27 players. They're running Fury AR pump, dual pistol pump, and then Fury AR pump. Okay. It's a bit of loot variety here between a lot of our tier 1 teams, which is kind of what I was expecting. Meanwhile, we got Clicks, Higgs, and Yomzo sitting up above, and Higgs is just going to be launching down below. Unfortunately, launching himself in Storm at the same time. Right now, we have Chance, Curve, and Edgy doing really well on low ground. Wait, oh, because Scare got dropped for Curve. That's right. Virgo might have to try and jump in here or go for hide. Virgo's going to go up. Shadow and Virgo going to try and go for high ground. Virgo goes up. Tries to launch himself up twice. Doesn't catch himself. Gets a shot onto Yomzo. Virgo goes back down. No uses left in the goalless, but no, Shadow goes up. Gets some good damage. Honestly, not a bad play. Pretty desperation play. They're in a 2v3v3, so they have to try and make a play on low or height. Looks like height was the decision. Unfortunately, they don't pick up anything for us, so Virgo's now solo. 3v3v1. Clicks his grief and low. Higgs tries to drop down off that base boost. Tries to break him in. Now Higgs is going to try and elevate himself back up. Only has one build, though. Needs to be careful. Goes back down. Clicks is still griefing down below. Trying to get the free kill on a Virgo as a solo. Curve's going to pick that up around the corner. Clicks now still breaking apart the builds. We've got a lot of base boosting going on here. Curve goes up. Higgs and Yomzo lose the high ground. Chance comes up. Can't quite take it, though. Yomzo takes down Curve. Beautiful play. Clicks on 3 HP, though. Gaining a little bit of health from the boon here. Edgy now trying to get away from this one. Clicks launches himself up. Gets caught out by Chance. Higgs and Yomzo now. 2v2, I believe. Higgs drops down. 61 HP. Edgy launches himself up and gets found out. 15 elim win in game 1 of the Pro Scrims to Clicks' trio. The one thing I haven't really been able to figure out yet is what is the best drop on the map. So I know the 2 best drops, in my opinion, is the Supernova Academy, which is where Clicks is going right now, and Mr. Savage over on EU, who is apparently going to be contested by Fredoxy. That's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Fred has qualified for LAN and Savage hasn't, so we'll see how that one plays out. And then we have Demon's Domain, which is where Peterbot is going up against Poyo. I think those are the 2 best drops. Supernova Academy, I made a video about why I think it's the best solo drop for sure. There's a room that you can go to that gets you an instant guaranteed 3 legendary chests within like 20 seconds of landing. You have all the Superhero Academy rooms you can go into for ranking up, which give you insane loot. But Demon's Domain is in a great spot of map. It has really good material. You get the medallion and the mythic assault rifle, like I said, and a ridiculous amount of loot as well. So both POIs looking very, very good. As far as some of the other POIs where our teams are going, Kanata has claimed Foxy Floodgate. He was going to be going Crime City, but Visuals is currently going there because they have the land spot. Kanata doesn't want to get into a spawn fight with them. Cooper, Reed, and Curly are going back to Flooded Frogs, where they just qualified from last season. Booga, Threats, and Rapid have actually locked down Utopia City, which replaced Seaport City. I think this is the weakest of the new drops. I need to play that drop a little bit more to see, but a lot of people are saying it's actually weaker than Seaport City. If you're wondering why Booga has locked it down over other land teams, I think if Pete and Poyo go head to head and it goes south for Poyo's team, potentially they might leave and go Utopia City. We could see Poyo's team dominate, destroy Peterbot, and maybe Peterbot leaves, but I'd be very surprised to see that happen just because Pete is so good off spawn, but he's never left a spawn fight in the last like few years, and I don't think the season before LAN is when he's going to want to show people that he's weak off spawn. Demon's Domain also has a guaranteed legendary chest on the very top of the building, which is a pretty much guaranteed Peterbot because he always has the best drops. So I'm excited to see Poyo, Acorn, and Aegis go up against Peterbot. Apparently Poyo, Acorn, and Aegis vibes are really good right now. Aegis and Poyo have been playing together on stream late at night, playing duos and stuff, so I'm very, very excited to see this team back in full fighting force, and what better way to show that you're back than taking on the champ. So I'm really excited to see if they can pop off against Peterbot. I think they might give Pete a good run for their money, but last time Acorn spawned for Peterbot, it didn't go too well, but that was years ago. We haven't seen these 2 teams go at it off spawn in a very, very long time. So keep an eye out for that one. Like I said, check out my Twitch and my YouTube channel. I'll be live watching these, or if you miss the games, watch the VODs because I guarantee it's gonna be worth it.